good, beer is good, beer is good, and stop.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Beer Chasers. I'm Preston, and today we're here at Ellipsis Brewing in Orlando, Florida, and I'm joined by Lauren Boston, co-owner, level 200 brewery master, something like that, here at Ellipsis. Lauren, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Great, thank you for having us. So we're going to go through the typical stuff you guys know. We're going to talk to Lauren about how she got started in the industry. We're going to talk about the starting of Ellipsis. We're going to try some of their beer. We're going to talk about the future. Lauren, are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. All right, so Lauren, if you can, just tell our audience how you got started in the beer industry. Kind of what are your roots?
Our roots are based off of my husband got a home brew kit, and we started a 5-gallon bucket. And we ended up brewing in an apartment, having not the equipment we needed, so we spilt beer everywhere. I don't even know what we brewed. I can't remember. I was there.
He didn't start at Mr. Beer, though. He actually started with a grain kit.
No, Mr. Beer.
Yeah.
Just 5.
He's one of the few brewers I know that didn't get started on Mr. Beer. We
Yeah,
all started on Mr. Beer, so he actually went to the 5-gallon kit. It was smart.
Yeah, no, we started there. He got it for a Christmas present, and it sat for 2 years, and then we started it. But we definitely didn't have the equipment that we needed. So we ended up making a huge mess. I think it was a dark beer. I'm not 100% sure.
It's probably still on the carpet.
It was definitely not an all grain one.
Okay.
So we kind of moved up to that process later on. But it was definitely just whatever came with kind of the kit that we got. And then we moved up from there. And then we went from there, and we shortly realized we didn't like doing the 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah.
And we built our own homebrew stand, and it was the 3-stand process. And then that was about a 10-gallon. So we got up to 10-gallon, and then we brewed on that all the way up until we got here.
Wow. So how long ago was that you guys get started, you say?
I would probably say going on now about 6 years.
Okay. So you guys were brewing for about 6 years, and somewhere you got the itch saying, hey, it might be cool to open up a brewery. Kind of what was that process? Like, what was that transition from, like, I don't want to do this just as home brewing, I actually want to do this as like a profession?
I think we kind of floated around with the idea, but we never really went into it because it still was a really hobby. We started going to festivals. We started doing the Orlando Beer Fest is our first fest that we ever did, and we do it every single year, and we fell in love with it. And then we were getting the feedback from people, and then we were like, oh, we're actually starting to come on to something. So then we're like, let's just dive right in. And then we kind of just went from there. We just spiraled into where we are now.
Yeah, I met Ken, your husband, at World of Beer when I was there. He was a beer trader and a connoisseur of sorts. I know that's where I met him with Mike and at the Bar Podcast. Everybody knows Mike, of course. And it was cool to actually run into you guys at a festival because I didn't know that you guys are brewing. So it was real cool. It was like, hey, Ken, I know you. And I didn't know you were a brewer. And I believe at the time you guys had that Rocky Road beer that was just like, man, it blew my mind. It was so good. I mean, just a great
We've
thing.
Actually revamped that and brought it back before.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, so you got that itch. You kind of started thinking about doing it, and now here we are in 2018, and we're here at Ellipsis in Orlando. So, talk about that process. You know, I know there's been some struggles probably. Like, what was the process like for you guys?
So for us, it was mostly permitting. We had our building for over a year before we actually started our build out.
I've heard this story before.
Yes. So our build out, it took a while, but then we got our build out, and then it spiraled from there where we were just going nonstop. We got our equipment, and we started brewing off our equipment. And I mean, it just went really fast once we started. So it was pretty much an entire year because I think we started in June of last year, starting the build out portion. And I think July was when we got it for the year before.
Man.
And then just permitting, that's really what it was, is like the plumber, and then this, and then getting our the right to consume alcohol permit. It was just from there, it was just like trying to get that.
And the whole time you guys are just itching to brew, you got these recipes, I've been doing well at festivals, and you're just waiting to open the doors.
Yes, we were definitely ready. There was a huge step from coming from brewing 10 gallons to 10 barrels.
Right.
And so we started off kind of really slow, and then we ended up just getting enough, and then we're like, can we just serve it now? Like, we were just sitting on it, just like, there's beer in the cooler, but we can't do nothing with it yet.
That's crazy. So you guys opened up about 6 months ago?
Yes.
So how have things been? Things been good?
It's been great. I mean, we're steadily getting busier and busier. We didn't do any crazy advertising, so it's kind of been word of mouth, but now that we're kind of getting out there, we're definitely growing.
That's the best kind these days, especially with Facebook and Twitter and all the other social media. Like, you know, advertising is great and it gets you out there, but I mean, word of mouth is always going to be king, right? And it's really easy to leave a bad review, but like when people are giving you glowing reviews, you almost take that like 10 times to be more than like, it's always easy to go like, I went to that restaurant and like, you know, the burger was overdone or this or that, but like to actually have hey, this is a really great place to check it out.
Yeah.
Like it's worth, I think, 100 times more than like an advertisement. You know.
Oh, absolutely, and that's what we were super excited the first time we ever got a review on Facebook or Google. We were like, oh my gosh, this person gave us this, and it wasn't even somebody that we knew personally.
Yeah.
It was somebody completely outside
Yeah.
of who we hang out with.
That's the
and
best.
that's when it was like, we're actually doing something all right.
So I know a lot of breweries kind of focus on certain styles. Do you guys focus on anything here in particular? Do you guys kind of do the gambit, or what's the shtick?
We're definitely known for our New England style IPAs. We like the hazy and juicy IPAs.
I think I see a couple of those in front of us here.
Yes. We do dabble into other styles. So we've had a sour. We have darks. We have a pilsner. We kind of try to go and bring a little bit of everything so everybody can enjoy themselves here, but our definitely staple is New England styles.
Okay, you guys got a fairly rotational tap. You guys got some seasonal ones. What are your flagships so far?
Our flagship has been Pinks and Greens, which is a New England style IPA, but we actually have done some different things with it, so we don't actually have that as of right now, but it's definitely one that we've been our staple. So we've done 2 different kinds, so we've added 2 different hops to it. But it's just basically Pinks and Greens, which is like El Dorado, Mosaic, Citra, and then we built off of that. And that's kind of that was the first one we ever put on tap, I believe.
Okay, very cool. And the name, as you allude to, what you're alluding to, but I understand your naming conventions all off of like 80s or 90s kind of stuff.
So we do a lot of 90s, and then we do a lot of military terms.
Okay.
So Pinks and Greens is military term. It is the World War II dress uniforms. They were called Pinks and Greens.
Okay.
And it kind of goes back to, we actually have a veteran and also still active military and a co-owner of mine. He's Army Reserves, and so we kind of took it from there, and that's where we got like the Pinks and Greens name from.
Okay.
And then we've got a bunch of like Full House names.
Yeah.
We've done Office Space, I believe. We've done a whole bunch of Austin Powers. A lot of 90s.
Very cool. So you guys are having fun while you're making some good beers.
Yes.
So I know an Ellipsis, right, is 3 dots, but how does that relate to the brewery or the brewing of the beers you guys do here?
So Ellipsis, how we came across the name is we did have another name in the beginning, and then we kind of didn't go with that, but we had the 3 dots. And just so happens to be 3 owners. And then we also liked kind of like the way that when you use it in a sentence, you're still continuing the sentence. So no matter what, we're still continuing on.
Oh, okay.
So we're kind of using that in that sense.
Gotcha.
So we kind of threw it in there. So that's kind of how it ended up, and then we just fell in love with it, and we just ran with it.
Very cool. Do you guys have any events going on? Are you guys feature any food trucks? Do you have any relationships with any of those guys? Or?
So typically we do trivia on Wednesdays, so we always have a food truck for that. And then Fridays and Saturdays we typically have food trucks, so we're definitely down to rotating out food trucks. We've had pizza, we've had Latin, we've had empanadas, we've had a little bit of everything. Burgers. Who couldn't get away with a burger?
I see a game console system over there, I think, and a pretty comfy couch.
Yes, we do have a little corner. It's called the gaming corner, and it's got we'll eventually have an Xbox. It's sitting at my house. But it has a GameCube, a PlayStation 2, and a Wii.
Nice.
And then we got a bunch of games that go along with it.
I'm always a fan. Love games. So.
We don't have Smash, so don't come looking for Smash.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Don't come looking for that one, but we got a little bit of everything else. But yeah, we're big gamers. We have our art on our walls is actually starting to go with kind of our gamers. Our one we have right now is from EverQuest. It's the main character on the cover of EverQuest.
Oh, cool.
Which was made in 1999.
Yeah. I think I played that one. I was just kind of out of RPGs at the time, but I'm definitely familiar with it. I know it's one of the fan favorites.
Actually, I still play it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some beer in front of us here. If you could just walk us through what ones you have, we'll give them a little taste.
All right, so this one here is our newest double. It's called Wheeze the Juice.
Looks nice. Very, very hazy. Very hazy-like.
It's 9.2.
Okay.
So it's for me. I get a lot of like citrusy on it.
Yeah, it smells real good. Very citrus-like.
It's very one that you could get in some serious
Oh,
trouble.
my God.
Not realizing that it's a 9.2%.
It's kind of multi-dimensional, right? It kind of starts dry, but then you kind of get this sweet kind of finish, and you get a nice hot punch, but it's balanced. That's one thing we love about beers is when they're balanced. I love IPAs when they're balanced. Everybody's gone to the moon and blasted with IBUs, but I love balance. This is really, really good.
Yeah, no, that's definitely exactly what this one is.
9.2%, that's scary.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right, so moving on, we have our Pinks and Greens, which is what I talked about earlier.
Okay.
Is our kind of our staple. This one actually has El Dorado, Mosaic, Citra. And then it's the Matuaka,
Okay.
which is a hop from New Zealand.
Yeah, very familiar with
and so
it.
that's what we've just a little added to it, just to give it a little bit of a different flavor.
Glad you pronounced it, because I never know the pronunciation. Motueka, Motuek.
There are several different ways. A lot of people say Matuaka,
Yeah.
Mutuaka. It's just whatever you want to call it.
It's one of my favorites. Kind of gives it a lime essence a little bit sometimes. Again, good. Very refreshing. Very
Yes. Very easy going.
I know it's not a session beer. I don't want to insult to say it's a session beer, but it's a very sessionable.
It is. It is kind of on
IPA.
the cups of being one, but I think
Yeah.
it's about a 6%. So it's still a little bit above, but it's definitely really light, really easy going.
It's good. And again, kind of that New England style where it's more kind of juice forward, a little more citrus forward, not a big pine bomb in your face.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And then I believe this one is the replay value,
Okay.
which goes to our gaming sense of humor.
Yeah.
Replay should be a pale ale.
Okay.
So it's still really hazy, but this one I believe is all Citra hop.
Ah, it's good. I love those Citra bombs. I mean, they're really popular right now. A lot of people are doing it in the pale style, so it's good
Yeah.
you guys have one on tap. It's definitely a popular style right now.
We've had one that is a double that's been an all Citra, but we wanted to do something lighter for summer, and that's where we came.
You can't go wrong with Citra because you get a little bit of that. You get a touch of grass, but you get like mostly that big citrus, juicy
absolutely.
burst of hop.
Yeah,
Delicious.
absolutely.
And we end on the dark.
The dark one is our trade porter. It's our milk porter.
Ooh, smells great. Nice.
I personally get a little chocolatey,
Yeah,
maybe a little coffee.
yeah.
But it's not overpowering like a stout.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a chocolate, a little bit of roast. Like it's perfect.
Yeah.
Smells great.
This one we actually treat a lot.
Ooh.
We do a lot of different keg treatments
Yeah,
on that one.
that's a really good base porter to do it on too. Like you mentioned, it's a little bit of chocolate, a touch of roast. And I like it. It's a little more roast forward than some porters. A lot of porters think play it safe. They almost kind of tend to go a little more towards the brown side.
Yeah.
I like the porters that are a little more roasty.
Yes.
So I think this would definitely play a good base top. Can't wait
Oh,
to
yeah.
try something else with that. It's really good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
All four are great beers. I mean, I've had some stuff here before. We were up here a couple weeks ago for a concert. So it's not my first visit. And generally, we don't film unless we've been in at least once. You know, you guys have passed the initial test. So
Yeah.
no, they're all great beers, and everything I've had here has been fantastic. Another one I really like was the Pilsner. It's one you don't find a lot of unless you go to a German themed place like a Rat Brewing or something like that.
Yeah, that one, we're pretty proud of that one, actually.
Yeah, the Pilsner was really good. I remember it being real clean, crisp, nice little bit of crackery, kind of flavor to it.
Yeah, it's definitely, I always call it a on steroids Pilsner, because
Yeah.
it's not like your typical like Bud Light or Miller,
Right.
but it's definitely, it gives you a little bit of punch, but it's still nice and crisp and easy drinking.
And they're not super rare, but I do love when I can find one because that's a beer I like to start with because it is light, but it has flavor. You know, it's you don't have to jump right into a hot
Oh
bomb
yeah,
or something
absolutely.
else.
You can definitely start with that and then work your way all the way down the line.
Well, awesome. Everything here has been good so far. Again, great hospitality, great staff.
Thank you.
Let's talk about looking forward now for Ellipsis. I know you guys are coming up on your 6-month anniversary. You guys have an event coming up.
We are doing 5 days of haze, which means the 16th through the 20th, which is our half birthday. Each day we're gonna have a different hazy beer. That's gonna be whether it's one that we've had and we've keg treated it, meaning we might have put different hops in it, or we have a brand new one that's going to be a full 10 barrel batch. It's called Buyer Powers Combined, and it is kind of, if anybody's been
Is that
here
the Captain Planet reference?
It is.
Got it. Yes.
It is. So that one, we actually had another beer that was on tap called How Rude, and that one, it's like a five hops, different hops. But because at the time we couldn't get Galaxy, this one's gonna have Galaxy.
That's a hard one.
So we're gonna have a lot of Galaxy beers coming out.
I know it just came back out, another 2018 or 17 growing season, however it works. It's just
so we
just came into
bought
effect,
up a lot of that, so it's definitely going to come out. And we'll also have like cupcakes to pair with beer. We're definitely going to be, so that Friday's good, but every single day is going to be something different. So it's definitely the full like party the entire week. I mean, it's our half birthday. Come on.
Absolutely. So looking past this 6 months, kind of what's the next 6 to 12 months look for Ellipsis? Like, what are you guys planning on doing? Any expansions? You getting into distro?
We are in distro right now, but
awesome.
we're really small because we push a lot out in the tap room. So we limit how much we actually give to distro. But we are looking at barreling.
Okay.
We're looking at playing a lot more with our stouts, and because we just came out with recently our Imperial Stout, which is 11.2%. We're looking at maybe barreling that with a treatment. We're definitely looking into hopefully expanding, getting more fermenters. But we're just trying to can a little bit more because we do have a canning event coming up.
Yeah, you guys have been doing some cannings. I forgot to mention. I know you guys have been releasing some cans every couple weeks. It seems like.
We've done 2 so far. We have one coming up on the 7th of July, and that one's like our F&Gs in our milk district. And so we're trying to push those out, but we have been doing so much in turning and burning all of our beers that we have in the tap room that we're with what our system we have now. We only have 5 fermenters, and we're just trying to keep up.
Yeah.
And we're excited.
We're excited
that
go a
we're
little
running
taller.
out. Yeah. We're excited we're running out, but it's also we just got to rush.
It's a good problem to have.
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh my God, we can't get rid of this beer. What are we gonna do with it?
Yeah, that's definitely we've never really had any of that problem. So
and I've been to some of those places too, where it's like you can tell this double IPA that was dry hopped. It was dry hopped 6 months ago. There's nothing on the nose. So
yeah, none of our dry hop stuff stays very long. So we're constantly brewing and constantly moving forward.
Awesome, Laura. Really appreciate your time. Thank you for again inviting us out. Let us come hang out and try some beers. Is there anything else you want to tell the Beer Chaser audience about Ellipsis or anything coming up or?
Not that I can think of, but just come and hang out with us. I'm here 5 days a week, and our bartenders are great. Just come and try some stuff.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you very much for your time. I think that's going to wrap it up. I'm Preston. That was Lauren. This is the Beer Chasers. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Beer is good, beer is good, beer is good, and stop. Beer is good, beer is good, beer is good. Let's go drink some beer. Beer.